journey. Well, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about vision. I just want to set this up and toss Eddie and alley oop really as we get going about vision. We started we titled, I should say, the message, 5 Secrets to Reach the Next Level. 5 secrets to reach the next level. And don't you want to reach the next level? Somebody put in the comments, 5 secrets to reach the next level. Come on, flood the comments with that. 5 secrets to reach the next level. I mean, I don't know if you feel this way, but you know, my birthday just passed. I had a wonderful birthday, and thank you guys, everybody that contributed to my birthday gift, which should arrive tomorrow. I've been watching it, and it should be here tomorrow before the end of the day. I'm so thrilled. Thank you for your contribution and your generosity towards that birthday gift. But around my birthday in the past, I used to be really sad, lethargic, feeling like I was getting older, but not accomplishing what was in my heart. As the number was increasing, I felt like what I was doing was spinning my wheels. You know, I felt like I was hitting a dead end. I felt like I wasn't making any progress. I wasn't moving forward. Year after year seemed to be the same. Now, I think if I would have paused, I could have celebrated the progress, right? But I used to just feel like I just wasn't doing enough, that I was going around and around in circles and just feeling difficult, right? To just break free from the monotony, you know, the routine that was taking place. And sometimes, and if you're honest, I think you feel the same way too. I think you feel like year after year runs together and you're not making progress and you're stuck. And I think what can draw our attention away from ourselves and away from all the distractions is vision. And so, Eddie, tell us a little bit about vision. What is vision? Why do we need vision? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think we're going to get into some of that. I mean, what you just said is we're going to get into later on for sure. Just, you know, being focused and having a clear vision for sure. I think vision is so key. And sometimes we think vision could be in the context of something big or the context of ministry or something like that. So it doesn't seem to really apply to our own lives and how we sort of walk out our own lives, meaning going to the grocery store every day, picking up the kids from school every day, like clocking in, clocking out every day at work. You know, vision often doesn't seem to play a part there, but it is actually quite key to even living that portion of our lives in a successful manner, for sure. So a little bit about me in terms of what I do and why vision is such a thing for me. Vision for me is one of those things that if I were to right now go on a traveling speaking engagement tour, that's the thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about vision. Like, that's deep in my heart for sure. Vision, purpose, what God's called us to do. That's what I would want to do. But then also my job every day is to talk about vision. I produce and direct a show called Inside the Vision. You mentioned that earlier. It's a show that airs on the Victory Channel, the Victory Network. And it's hosted by Pastor George Pearsons. Pastor George Pearsons, he's my pastor, but he's also the host of the show. And his heart is huge on vision. Like he wants people to grab a hold of vision, bulldog faith, that's his thing too. Grab a hold of vision in that manner and run after it. And that's really the principles of vision and the principles of faith are very similar, I think, in a lot of ways. But how key vision is for our lives. Again, not just for the big things, but the small things. And, you know, just before we came on, I hadn't planned on talking about this, but I thought about it just before we got on. I'm actually sitting in a vision come true. I'm actually sitting in God fulfilling vision for my wife and I. Right now, I'm sitting in my brand new house. We just moved in a month ago. A little over a month ago. But the thing is, you have to realize I was in a rent house for 13 years. Some of that was a great thing. I should have probably been out of that 5 years ago, though. But here I am in this brand new house. Now, I will say, when we started this year, our vision for a house was extremely clear. We were like, we have to get out of this house this year. This year, God, we're getting out. This is our vision. We put our house on a vision board. And this is the part that I thought was really interesting. And I didn't even get it until after it happened. we put a house on our vision board. The floor plan was up so we could see how the floor plan was. And we were going to a neighborhood that had that exact house. They were selling that exact house, and it was there. And so we were there. We were walking around the neighborhood. We were praying about it. Just believe in God, like we should. Well, that particular neighborhood and that particular style of house is really too far out of our range of where we could go right now. So we kind of had to back off that just a little bit. Now, I think that's actually a key. That's a key that hadn't really thought of. Like sometimes going towards our vision, we have the big thing in mind, but there's steps along the way. And so I feel like this is really, and just to kind of drill down on this really quickly, we got into the house, we bought the house, we signed the papers, and we're getting ready to do the loan. And we looked at the floor plan of our house. And my wife actually was laying on our bed in our rent house. She looked over at our vision board, and on our vision board was the previous layout of the house, the floor plan.
Wow.
Of the house. It was the same floor plan.
Wow.
Exactly the same. Now, that version was a little bit bigger for sure. Right. There's a couple more rooms, but the exact layout of our current house, the same. The way the hallway enters, the living room, the way the bedrooms are, the way the master bedroom is, it's exactly the same. So, okay, did I get into the house that was quite honestly out of my reach? No, but I got into the next best thing that I could right now, and God still blessed me with what my vision was. Why?
Yeah.
Because my vision this year was extremely clear. And to be honest, I didn't know how any of this was going to happen this year. In the natural, financially, it wasn't going to happen to get into this house. Definitely wasn't going to happen to get into the other house, but not into this house.
Right.
But because I have a vision, there's a law of attraction, right? What we're thinking about, what we're believing God for, if we're steadfast on that and clear, God brings that to our lives, that we're attracted to that. Those things are attracted to us. Anyway, so that's a little bit of a foundational piece on vision and what is vision. I had a few notes. I sent them to you, DaVon. So just, jump in or whatever. But vision to me is sort of a big package, but we can boil it down to these two things. Your vision is your why and your what, right?
Put that in the comments, everybody. Why and what? Why and what? Go ahead, talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so jump in on this because the why part you and I discovered together, right? So your vision is your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want this thing? And then the other part of it is your what. What is it that you actually see, right? So you and I both read a book. You finished the book. I'm actually in the middle of the book. But in that book, they were talking about how vision, the real version of vision is your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want this? Why is it that you are pursuing this thing that you have on the inside? Right. So you had a few examples and I had a few counter examples, but I think they're actually the same. Right. So my example was, well, what I see is I want a nice garden in my backyard. That's my big vision. Right. My big vision is I want a nice garden. But the real thing is like, okay, but why do I want that garden? Well, I want that garden because I need a place to feel relaxed, right? DaVon, what is it? What were you thinking about when you read that in the book about the why?
Well, yeah, I do want to recommend the book, by the way. It's a book, matter of fact, well, I thought it was near me. I should have had it on me. It's a book by Miles Monroe. I'll get it before the end, called The Power of Vision by Miles Monroe. The Power of Vision. And the why is the reason you exist. What is your purpose? And sometimes you can discover that by what frustrates you the most, right? You might be the answer to your frustration. The reason why you tick, what makes you go, what do you get excited about? And here's another one. What do people tell you that when you're around, when you communicate with them, what do they tell you? I mean, your close friends. I'm not talking about Willie Lump Lump. I'm talking about your close friends. What are they telling you about you? And this is how you really discover the why. You got to start really with the why. And once you start with the why, then we can get into the what. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a great description too. And it's like, why do you want a new house? Well, I want a new house because, well, it's a nice place to live. Oh, well, actually, I need to bring rest and peace to my wife and kids. We need to get into a new house because we need rest, we need peace. And this current house isn't providing that. As a very simple example. Or why is it that I want to be a pastor? I want to be a pastor because I want to speak to thousands. No, I want to be a pastor because I want to inspire and I want to build up people in their faith. I want them to see true life. I want them to live a victorious life. That's why I want to do this. But then you kind of move off from that a little bit, and just so we can keep going, then we kind of focus on goals. And what are goals? What are your goals for vision, right? I feel like goals are the building blocks of your vision. Goals are the building blocks of your vision, right? If you're going to build a house, right, think of your goals as phasing of building a house. It doesn't all just go up at once. There's certain phases, there's certain goals that you have when you're building a house, right? And then when you look at your goals, you obviously have to prioritize them, right? Like I've got these goals that build out this bigger vision, but my foundation doesn't go in last, right? The foundation goes in first. That's the first thing that you have to do. I mean, you can even break it down even further. Well, actually, I got to clear off all these weeds first. I got to clear out all these stumps first. I got to level the ground out. Then I can put my foundation in, right? So there's all little goals that we have to prioritize in our lives. Okay, I want to be a New York Times best-selling author. That's my goal. I've discovered my why. I want to inspire people. Okay, now how am I going to do that? I'm going to do that through writing books. Great. What's your number one goal? Well, if you don't have a laptop, you got to go get a laptop. If you don't have a laptop, get your notebook out and write. And your goal could be, okay, I'm going to sit down and write one sentence a day.
Right.
I've prioritized now my time. Now I have to prioritize my time in writing that book. That one sentence a day is what I need to do. And that's my small goal into the bigger goal, which is, all right, I'm going to have 10 chapters by the end of the year. All right, now I'm going to find a publisher. DaVon, you know about this. We're going to look for a publisher. We're going to find the best publisher who's going to work with me. You know, these are all goals that we've had to prioritize. Lots of times, and the people that I talk to, they have big vision. Oh, I would love to. Oh, I wish I could. I would love to, and I wish I could. That's not actually vision. That's not actually that's just an idea. It's just a thought. Vision actually has that purpose. Vision actually has, we're about to get into the five secrets, right? But vision actually has these pieces. It's not just a wish or a hope or an idea. It's an actual thing that we've drilled down into and, we've really thought about.
Yeah. I mean, the proof of desire is pursuit. I want to say it again. Write this in the comments. The proof of desire is pursuit. One more time. The proof of desire is pursuit. And so what Eddie is talking about here is you got big vision. Now your goals are the building blocks to accomplish the vision. But if you're not pursuing those goals, then you can't tell me you desire that vision. Okay. I mean, you can fool somebody, but you're not fooling me. All right. And so you can't be intentional and inconsistent. Okay. At the same time, you just can't do it. Right. And so it requires consistency and pursuit. And so like he mentioned, I love that one sentence a day. People ask me, how have I written 2 books? I'm on the 3rd. We're almost done with the 3rd. It's going to be really, really good too, by the way. How have you done that? Well, one, I've had to wake up a little earlier, right? And I had to prioritize or block off my time so that I can prove to myself that I desire to accomplish something that my grandkids, great-grandkids, etc., will say, man, Papa D, Pastor Papa D, he wrote a book, And so You got to be intentional where these goals, and you want to set goals that you can press for. Don't set easy goals. Set goals that you can press for. And I don't know why I hear this in my heart right now, but some of us have goals of the amount of water that we drink, and we're like, I'm struggling to get that water down. Go for a run. Okay, literally just go for a run. You're gonna get that water down. Okay, you're gonna be thirsty. All right, so sometimes we don't need to set goals that we cannot press for. You need to have a press. They need to be attainable and in your space, or pace, I should say. But you want to press for these goals so that you can begin to build the building blocks that will accomplish the big vision. Now, with that being said, let's talk about 5 secrets to reach the next level. I mean, how many of you want to go to the next level? I mean, I want to go to the next level. I mean, it's going to require breakthrough. It's going to require stretching. This particular book that I'm writing now, I was done with it when I gave it to our publisher, and he told me we're not done with it. And he began to stretch me like, we need to add this, that, and the third. And I'm like, man, I'm being stretched. Why? Because getting to the next level is always going to require a stretching. You're going to be uncomfortable. So get used to being uncomfortable. You're going to be asked to do things that someone else knows you can do because they believe in you, but you don't think you can do. I like to take Jeannie, for example. Jeannie was coming to our church, serving faithfully, and the Lord told me, get her ready to preach. Well, she's like, I don't know how to preach. I had to stretch her, right? You got to get ready because God's got something in you to deliver. And so it always requires a stretching. And so let's talk about these 5 secrets to reach the next level. Number 1, drill, baby, drill. Tell me about drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, drill, baby, drill. Okay, so when you have vision, when you're searching for your vision, you got to dig deep and drill down, right? You got to dig deep and drill down. Why? Because, okay, so I live in Texas, and I've had to bury a few pets out here. And let me tell you something, the ground is so hard. It's so hard. Like I dig in, and man, it's like I've been working for hours and I've only gone down like 2 or 3 inches. It's so difficult to dig out here. But you got to drill down and you got to dig deep, because underneath all of this, underneath this big shell that's here in Texas, is gas and oil. It's all under there. And you got to drill down deep to find it. The same thing is with vision. You really have to spend a lot of time. If you want to see real success in life where your vision is concerned, you've got big dreams and big goals that you have in your life that you want to pursue and you want in your life, whether that's to own a Fortune 500 company, or be a pastor, be in the ministry, or be a screenwriter, or be a filmmaker, or be a director. If you have those goals, you got to actually really drill down and discover what that means. And then when you've drilled down and discover what it means to do that, you got to write it down and make it plain. And I don't want to take away here from the power of prayer and pursuing God, right?
Right.
Because when I don't want it to be secular here. No, this is all godly.
Yeah.
Pursue God, pursue what He has for you. Spend time in prayer, because when you spend time in prayer, it gets unlocked. This vision gets unlocked. You spend some time with your Bible open every morning or evening, or when you do it on your lunch break, and the Lord's going to reveal things to you. And when He reveals things to you, it might just be a small word. It might just be a small thing that He's revealed to you that your vision is concerned. That right there, take it and drill down into it. Drill down into that small thing and discover everything that it is that God wants you to do. And then when it becomes clear, when that picture becomes clear, write it down. It's really easy. It's really easy to say, I want a big church. It's really easy for me to say, I want to direct a big studio film. Great. What does that mean? What does that look like? What are my steps? What are my goals? What are my building blocks to this vision? If I don't know what my building blocks are, see, when you open it up and you drill down and dig deep, you're going to find out what your goals are. And then when you figure out what those goals are, you can prioritize. And all of this can be and should be revealed to you by God.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, because this is not secularism. This is starting out with God placing on the inside of you vision. I mean, I believe that none of us are born with vision. I believe vision is discovered. And so it's going to come as you continue to spend time with the Lord. He's the creator. He created you for a purpose, with the purpose to solve a problem in the earth. And so we need to spend time with the creator to find out, what am I supposed to solve in the earth, right? And your vision could simply be, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Your vision could simply be, I want to be a full-time musician. Your vision could simply be, the Lord could tell you, man, I want you to feed the hungry. And you're like, well, I want to feed 50,000. Well, start with feeding two. Get your goals oriented and in line, and your vision will be accomplished. Now, let's talk about start.
Yeah.
Your number 2 here you wrote down was start. What is that all about?
Yeah. And you just said it. Like, I want to feed 50,000 people. We'll start feeding 5.
Right.
Like, what can you do? Do something, right? If do something, do anything. Like, what is it that you can do right now? Like, I've mentioned this before. I want to be a writer. Okay. Get my notebook out and get my pencil out and start writing something. I want to have a successful window washing business. Great. I don't have any clients. What do I do? Oh, well, you know what you could do is start on your own home. Clean your own windows. Practice the method of cleaning windows. You have to start doing something. Faith requires motion. Faith requires action. Faith doesn't want you to just sit down and wait. Faith wants you to move forward, right? Faith is all about moving forward. If you take just a small step every day, that's all you need, because God can work with that, right? He didn't say, give me the biggest seed. He said he wants just the small mustard seed. Sometimes when we're pursuing our visions and the things that God has for us, all we can do is take one small step. But the thing is that's all God's wanting from you, is one small step, and be obedient in that every single day, right? We talked about it. One sentence, that's all you need. Oh, okay. Well, I want to be a pastor. Pastor DaVon, I feel called to be in the ministry. Great. Have you read your Bible today? Right? Like, are you preparing to speak anywhere? Right? Oh, I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a screenwriter. Awesome. Have you ever read a screenplay before? Start by reading a screenplay. Start by writing something down. Often, I saw it in the comments here. Somebody said procrastination also kills your vision, or something to that effect. And I think that's so true. And I think it fits right here in this start category. Oftentimes we can procrastinate. Why do we procrastinate? We procrastinate because the mountain's too big. We procrastinate because it seems like too much. That big saying that they say, how do you eat an elephant? You eat them one bite at a time, right? So obviously we're not going to get everything done in one moment. I struggle with this because I look at the blank page and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much that I need to do. But the reality is, all I need to do is put 5 thoughts down on the paper and I can get going quick. But oftentimes I just sit back and wait. Because procrastination is too easy, and procrastination does kill dreams. It does kill vision. And it's the weirdest thing is it's so counterproductive. I want to start, but I'm not going to because it seems too big. So really kind of clearing away all the distractions, and then just start pursuing those small goals, right? Again, we talked about it. The big building blocks are goals, but each and every one of those have small goals. Hit one of those small goals. If you hit a small goal today and then another one tomorrow, soon you'll find out I've hit all my goals, and now look, I'm walking in my vision.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Starting small is really all you can do.
Paul Brigham just says, he said, start something. Something is not nothing. I like that a lot. Something is good. Nothing. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Something is not nothing. Yeah. That is good, Paul. That is good. And so as you begin to start with something, you're going to create momentum. You're going to create a good habit. You're going to see progress over time. Someone may even comment like, man, you're acting a little differently. It could be, man, I want to stop being, mean. Okay. Start small, right? My vision is to be kind, but I'm a mean person. Start small. Tell someone, something kind. Be patient, and then over time, people may comment on it, which will give you some additional fuel to keep going. So this is really good tonight. Let's go. I want to address what Valencia said here. Personal struggle of mine, fear of failure. Now this is a real one. Before we continue, I want to address this. Thank you for your honesty, Valencia. Fear of failure is real. Most people actually deal with this fear of failure. There is the opposite of this, which is the fear of success. And I actually, honestly, have struggled with that in years past where, man, what if this actually works? And I don't know how to navigate it. I don't know how to oversee it. I don't know how to make sure it continues to grow, right? So there's a fear of success and this fear of failure. I think what to overcome the fear of failure is you're going to just have to get used to you might just fail, and you get back up. It's not over until it's over, and you get back up and you try again, and you get back up and you try again, and you get back up and you try again. And so there's no magical wand that we can wave except start and see what the Lord will do with it. If it's a failure, then it might mean let's go another direction. Let's look at another opportunity. Let's try a different way. I mean, this is a pastoral conversation I had with a guy, and he's got an impactful ministry, but the first church he started failed. What if he'd have quit? He started another one in another city, and it actually took off. So one of the ways to counteract the fear of failure is just get comfortable with failing. Hey, it may not work. Let's try again. I've got guts. I've got stamina. I've got endurance. I'm not a quitter. I'm going to keep pressing forward. Come on, somebody say amen. Now, that's some good preaching now. Put amen in the comments there.
I'll say talk about it. Good preaching because, it is true. Right? The fear of failure, I deal with that as well, and that's the thing that causes you to procrastinate the most, I think, because, if I fail at this, I look stupid or I feel dumb or it's hard, it's difficult. But the thing is, what I found to be so true is you're going to fail anyways. Even if you're not doing the thing, you're still going to fail somehow. It's sort of a part of life. And I think if we turn the tables on it and shift our perspective on what failure is just an opportunity to learn, honestly. Failure is just an opportunity to learn. It didn't work that time. Great. I'll try a different way. Instead of feeling like I'm a failure, I don't know how to do this, you're actually in the process of discovery. Failure is the process of discovery, honestly. That's how you do things, is by failing. We see it in babies all the time, when they're getting ready to crawl and they're trying to figure out how to walk. How many times do they fall down until they finally figure out, oh, this is how you do it, right? That's such a simplistic way of looking at things. I know, I get it. It's hard to apply that to the same thing that I feel like I'm failing at my job. Right. Again, remember, failure is just the way to discover. That's your discovery process. Don't be afraid of failing, because that's the way. It's probably the number one way that you learn is by failing. Failure is not a negative thing. It's actually, if you shift your perspective, it's a positive thing.
That's good. That's good. And Wayne, that's good too. It's an opportunity to learn. That's good. A process of discovery. And so one of the greatest motivators, though, is the desire to continue and not fail. I know for me, that's a motivator. When we started the church, I was greatly motivated that this thing was not going to fail. Okay, we're going to start out and we're going to give it our all, right? And it just motivated me to continue. Don't quit. Don't stop. Continue. Breakthroughs right ahead. Breakthroughs right ahead. Breakthroughs coming. It's coming. It's coming. And it was just a good motivator for me. So that is really good. Now, number one, we said drill, baby, drill. Number two, we said start. No, we said, start, right? Was number two. What's number three? Tell us what number three is.
Say it.
I don't even know how to say it. That's why I set you
Sherpa.
up to say it.
It's the
Okay.
Sherpa. Okay. I don't know if anybody knows what a Sherpa is, but a Sherpa is this group of people, and they're master hikers, they're master mountaineers,
Okay.
and they're the guys that take people up Mount Everest. Okay, so I always think about this. We hear about Mount Everest, we hear about these hikers that have gone up to the summit and gotten to the top, but the Sherpas are the one who take them up there. I find this to be interesting because I think what we tend to do in life is we celebrate the exception to the rule, right? So we're talking about the one guy who went to the top of the mountain, but all these other Sherpas, they've gone to the top of the mountain like 7 different times. Like they're doing it every day, right?
Right.
We often compare ourselves to the exception to the rule. We often are celebrating the exception and we're forgetting about the hard work that's being done every day, just like the Sherpa. Like these guys know what's going on Mount Everest. This is not their first time up the mountain by any means, right? Like they're going up the mountain again because they've done it before. We can't forget that the exception shines bright. It's out there for us, and we're so pumped to be like Steven Spielberg. But there's so many directors out in Hollywood and around the world right now doing the work just like Steven Spielberg is. There's so many screenwriters that are doing the work just like an A-list screenwriter. There's so many pastors out there doing the work just like Stephen Furtick, right? I mean, just like he's doing the work, there's thousands of pastors doing the work just like him. So this is really a moment for us to look and say, okay, you know what? I don't want to compare myself to anyone else and what anyone else is doing. Like, I'm not going to look at this or that or anything else. I'm going to look and remember that there's people doing hard work just like I'm doing hard work. And I need to clear my mind and clear my plate, clear my thoughts and stay on my own vision path. The path that God's been doing multiple times. God's been leading me multiple times. God is my Sherpa. Maybe that's what I should have called it. God is my Sherpa, right? Like God is leading me. He's guiding me. He's got a path for me. He knows where I need to go. All I need to do is listen to him. He's the one who lights my path. All I need to do is listen to him, right? And clear my mind away from all the other exceptions to the rule that are out there. All the guys who are like, it's too big for me. Like they're doing it, but I don't know if I can do it. Well, it doesn't matter what they're doing because God's got you on a vision path.
That's good.
God's
that's
got
good.
you on your own vision path.
Yeah, don't compare. Don't compare. Stay in your lane. Run at your pace. Don't compare. That comparison is a killjoy. Comparison will stop your progress. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. When you begin to compare, you're either going to belittle what the Lord is doing in your life, or you're going to exaggerate what the Lord is doing in your life if you compare it to someone that
I like
may
what you said.
appear.
I like what you said. You said belittle what God's doing in my life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I start looking at, the other guys that are out there doing what I'm doing and maybe the success that they're having, hey, that's great. But then I start to belittle the success that I might have because it's not as big as what they're having.
Right.
My success doesn't seem as large as theirs. My success doesn't seem as successful as their success. Right. And so I love what you just said. We don't want to belittle the hard work that we're doing.
No.
We don't want to belittle the hard work that we're doing because we are on our own vision path and it's no one else's path.
No one else's path. That's exactly right. So number 4 here is titled Something is in My Eye. Talk about that. Something is in my eye.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten something in your eye?
Yeah, it's normally an eyelash. It's normally an eyelash.
And if you wear contacts and it gets stuck underneath your contact, it's, you know what? Everything in the world stops, right? Like the entire world stops. I got to figure this out because it's hurting so bad. Something's in my eye. I feel like when that thing is in your eye, you lose your focus. You lose what you are called to do. And we often have to just stop for a moment, take that thing out so we can refocus, so we can restay. Okay, what's the vision? What's the vision in front of me. And I think this is really important, right? I mean, I have daily declarations that I say over myself, but also keeping our vision in front. I mean, going all the way back to the top. You know, vision is something that's strong in you. It's not just an idea. It's not just a hope or a wish. Vision needs to be strong in you. That's why you got to drill down and find out what that vision is that God has for your life. Okay, you've got that vision. Now you got to keep it in front of you. You got to stay focused on it. You got to get rid. We talked about this a little bit during the Sherpa part. We got to get rid of those distractions. You got to get that thing out of your eye and say, okay, wait a minute. Let me just focus. Let me put the vision in front of me and read it. Oh my gosh, I'm reading my vision. It doesn't feel like anything is happening towards that vision. That's okay. Oh man, I don't know. There's nothing I can do today towards my vision. Well, yes, there is actually. You can pick up your written vision and you can read it and you can keep it in front of you and you can stay focused. Yeah. Get all those distractions out of your life. Get those things, the things that cause your attention to go over here or cause your attention to go over there, where your vision is concerned. Get rid of those. Stay focused. Write it down. What does the Bible say? You write your vision down so you can run with it.
Yeah. Yeah. He who reads will run. And who's going to be the one reading it? That is you. And so you write it down. Now, before we get to point number 5, I want to see who's still with us tonight. Who is still with us? Let me know in the comments if you're still on. Who is still with us tonight? This is some good stuff. Some good nuggets. Drill, baby, drill. You're going to have to start. The Sherpa. Something is in my eye. We're talking about 5 secrets to reach the next level. Who's still with us tonight as we introduce number 5? I'm going to give you time to let us know who's in the comments. You don't want to miss number 5. Mark is still with us. Mark, God bless you, man. Are you getting something good out of this? Sean, God bless you. Kendra still with us. Praise God. You still here receiving it all. That's good, Tanel. Wayne still here. Thank you, Ruthie, for writing these down too. Something is in my eye. Adrian is still here. The Burgess family still with us. We here. Okay, we here. We is here. Robert is still here. Glory to God. All right, this is good. Number 5 is probably one of my favorite. Why don't you tell the people what number 5 is?
Yeah, so my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. It's my favorite.
Mine too, actually.
It feels like it's a big holiday for sure, but it's like no pressure on the holiday. You know.
Well, I don't know where you get that from, brother.
I mean, let me rephrase. There's no pressure as far as gifts are concerned. Receiving gifts for me is actually kind of stressful. Like I get a little stressed about gifts. Like, yo, you want me to open this gift in front of you? Like what if I don't like this gift? You know what I mean? Like I don't. That's a little bit stressful for me, and that does not exist on Thanksgiving. Also,
I feel you.
A little bit of a weird thing. Why do we not have a Thanksgiving song? I think one exists out there. Why do we not?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think we need a Thanksgiving song for sure. But anyway, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, right? But Thanksgiving and gratitude, I think, actually, in the spiritual sense, in the things of God, the things of the Bible, I think Thanksgiving and gratitude is actually the key to everything. Like this is the thing to me that unlocks all of, I'm believing God for healing in my body. Get thankful. Mm-hmm. Get thankful. Why? Why do you need to get thankful? Because that to me is the thing that resets everything in my life. You cannot be as angry in your bedroom if you start to get thankful. You can't be as angry at work. You know, people are making you upset at your job. Man, go outside, go for a walk, start to get thankful. Thank God for what he is doing in your life, even if it's small. The moment you start doing that, the moment you reshift your focus onto God, onto the right things, onto the promises of God, and when you reshift like that, that's the things that open up for you. Also, when you reshift your focus like that and become thankful and become grateful, this is when you can begin to hear God better. Right? Yeah. Because we let disappointment in, we let distractions in, we let doubt and unbelief in. Man, I got to get the doubt and unbelief out of my life. Get thankful. Mm-hmm. Get thankful. Because when you get thankful, that opens up everything else and it starts to give you clear sight onto what God's doing in your life. It gives you clear sight onto who God is in your life, who God wants to be in your life. Man, when you get thankful, man, my kids are really irritating me right now. But you know what? Get thankful for them and they won't irritate you as much, I promise you. My wife is really irritating me right now. You know what? Go into the other room, get thankful for her, and she won't irritate you as much anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no,
I'm not going to
no.
sit here and say that it's all going to be much better, but I'm telling you, you're going to be right on the right path.
Well, your perspective will change. It's funny you say that. Zaven, our oldest son, man, that brother used to wake up in the middle of the night, like wide awake when he was a baby, and all the time. Like, some of them just want to eat and go back to sleep. Not him. He was up. And I used to have to say all the time, I am thankful for this bundle of joy. He is a blessing and not a burden. I would say that every night because we would take turns waking up, and I'm thankful for Zaven. He is a blessing and not a burden. And it changed my whole perspective. It changed my attitude. And the truth of the matter is there is no such thing as silent Thanksgiving. There's no such thing as that. You're going to have to express, demonstrate, or show gratitude and appreciation. And so we're going to have to open up our mouth, or we're going to have to put something in our hand to give. We're going to have to jump up and down, shout, spin, whatever is necessary to actually demonstrate Thanksgiving. No such thing as silent Thanksgiving. And so Thanksgiving will celebrate the progress that you've already made. I want to be clear here, and I'm not going to sound like a Debbie Downer when I say this, but I want to be clear. Maybe you thought that your vision, it's never going to come to pass. Maybe you're thinking, man, it's a lofty and it's never going to happen. Guess what? Celebrate the progress that's already been made. Eddie, and when we're in Bible school, you remember they sat down, they told us, write out where you thought your ministry church XYZ is going to be. And I remember I wrote a paper, we're going to have 10,000 members and we're going to do this and that, this and that. And I look at that and I thought, man, I don't know if I want 10,000 members anymore, right? I was young. It was lofty. It was big. They want us to think big. But I look back at it and it's like, but we are still reaching hundreds, if not thousands, on this sort of platform, right? This sort of avenue, which I did not have any idea was available. So your vision may not look like how you dreamed it to be. It might look a little different. But in the meantime, celebrate the progress that you've already made. When you continue to celebrate progress, whether it's tiny progress, you celebrate it anyway, you rejoice anyway. It's the furthest or the closest that you've ever been to accomplishing what God's called you to accomplish. Then you will bring in an expression of faith that pleases God. It really does. I believe God is pleased in the process more than he is when we receive and walk in the manifestation of the vision. I really do. The process that it takes, I believe it pleases him and it strengthens us, and it requires celebration. All right, along the way, take time to celebrate. Every year, Stacy and I, we go to dinner sometime between after Christmas and before New Year's Eve, and we try to sit down, or we do sit down, and we celebrate the progress of the year. Man, look what the Lord has done. Okay, maybe I wanted to be somewhere else. Maybe I want this accomplished, but it didn't happen this year. But man, look what the Lord has done, right? Mm-hmm. Celebrate progress with thanksgiving. Any last words before we let the people go tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just kind of recapping it a little bit, like drill, baby, drill, right? We got to dig down. We got to dig deep and drill down, right? And find out what God really has for us. And when we figure out what God really has for us, write it down so we can keep it in front of us. I think this is so important, again, because we don't often do this part. We have great ideas. We think about something kind of a lot, but we don't actually dig down into it and say, what does that actually mean? Because when we dig down deep into our vision, then we start to produce goals. And when we start to produce goals, we can start to prioritize. And when you're doing all that and you're writing it down, your vision will become extremely clear. And then once you figured all that out, go ahead and start doing something, even if it's small. There's no small step. Something is not nothing, right? Start doing something. And then we've got to get rid of the distractions. We've got to get rid of, and these 2 points kind of go together, but we've got to stay focused. We got to get rid of those things that keep our eye off the ball. Like, we've got to stay focused on that vision. Again, we've got to refer back to what we've written down, right? And then of course, when it all comes down to it, we've got to remember that we have a key that unlocks everything. And that key is thanksgiving, gratitude. Man, I'm telling you that this has been a revelation to me, honestly, that if I'm believing God for something and it seems like it's not coming to pass, get thankful. Mm-hmm. When I'm wanting to hear from God, catch this. Seriously, I want to hear from God. I want God to speak to me. Get thankful. Have gratitude, because the moment you have gratitude is the moment you refocus and you're able to prioritize seeing and hearing God. Man, I just don't think God speaks to me. Get thankful.
Mm-hmm. That is so good. That is so good. Eddie, wonderful, wonderful, revelatory, encouraging word for us tonight. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for your investment. Thank you for being your authenticity, really sharing your home, talking about the struggles that you have. Thank you for that, because that's how we connect. And I'm grateful to you, your friendship. Hang on here. I'm gonna let the people go, but I want you to hang on here for a second. Everybody, what a good word we received. Here's the book we referenced. The Principles and Power of Vision by Dr. Miles Monroe. Okay, Dr. Miles Monroe. Get a hold of that book. That book was very, very enlightening, and I think you will enjoy it, and it will encourage you. As always, I love you. If you need prayer, let us know. We want to pray with you. If you want to just give your life to Jesus. You've been listening and you're saying, man, I need to give my life to Jesus. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to scan this QR code. There, it's going to show you how to give your life to Jesus. You said yes. It's going to walk you through what it means to give your life to Jesus and help you strengthen your relationship with Jesus. If you're in the area, please come by TrueLifeFC.org. Come celebrate with us. And if you are being led to give tonight, here is the way right here at the bottom of the screen. You can give and connect with this word, sow your seed, say thank you, and celebrate the vision and progress that the Lord has for you. I want you to know that I love you. I call you blessed, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. We're going to be talking about in the name of Jesus this Sunday. It's going to be good. I love you. God bless you, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.